Hey guys, welcome back. So, when I left you last, we actually got our to-do list kind of working a little bit. And I just broke it. Just need to turn on the server. So we were able to add to-dos and we saw it live update in real time, so that was really cool. But we also wanted to see all the to-dos previous. So we can add stuff, but we would like to be able to see them before adding them. For example, there's a bunch of to-dos in this to-do list. I'd like to see this list populated with all of them. So to do that, what we're going to do, oops, not this, is we're going to go into our routes, that's our home page, and we're going to mess with the view. So this query, we actually need to get the result of this query and set our update our Redux state using a reducer and sending an action. So what we're going to do is I actually just looked this up. You can get the result of the query by waiting for the query to be added to the props. So notice down here I named this viewer, and then right here we're adding it to the props, right? Oops. Actually, I just had an idea. We're adding it to the props right here. We could actually just do it right here. So I was gonna say we wait to see till this is added to the props and then we do stuff, but we could actually do. Can we do an action right here? Own props. Yeah, we can. So I'm gonna do props dot own props dot set to dos, and this is the action we created. And now if I do props dot viewer dot, and I just need to get the to-do list. I'm actually not sure what the, so I'm not sure the path to actually get the to-dos from the viewer, so I'm just going to console log props.viewer real quick to see it. And also I can get rid of this because I just had this idea. So refresh. Okay, so this dot props viewer, and then to-dos. And let's refresh. Undefined is not an object. So props.viewer.viewer.todos. I did props.viewer, right? Props.viewer printed this for me, I believe. Dot viewer. Let's just see what that prints. Console.log viewer. Okay. So this is an object, and then we do dot to-dos, right? Why is to-dos? I don't understand why dot to-dos is undefined. I see to-dos right here. So this is very weird. Viewer undefined O. Okay, I see what's going on. So for whatever reason, at first it's not. So if, oh, and what if this query gets called multiple times? We need to have a flag. So I'm going to make a flag up here. Set to dos called is equal to false. And we say if props.viewer.todos and not set to dos called, then we can call this function. And set to dos called is equal to true. Now let's rerun that. Still gonna give me an error. I'm guessing that props.viewer is not a thing. Possibly? Yes. That was what the problem was. So we're getting this warning, set state cannot update during existing state transition. I'm curious why we're getting this little error. We're getting this pop up, so that's nice. I'm guessing it doesn't like us doing this here. So I'm going to comment out real quick and make sure. Okay, so we're getting that warning. So I'm going to try doing this in the will receive props. So next props.viewer.loading. So if it's not loading, it should be there. So I say next props. First I call this .props.set to dos. And then next props. And I also need to set the state or a flag. Set to dos called is equal to false. Not set to dos called. This .prop set to do next props.viewer.viewer.todos. This set to do's call is equal to true. Is that the correct syntax? Method called component will receive. Home has a method called component will receive props. Did you mean? Oh, it's spelled wrong. We copied and pasted this. And comment out this. Alright, that looked like it worked. So let's just, and we don't get a warning, so let's just do that there. And now, when I create more, call it last. Let us scroll. It doesn't let us scroll. Okay, let's create a little X here so we can actually delete. Let's add deleting to-dos. So let's go to that element. Yeah. So by default, it has this little flag thingy. What if I don't want the little flag thingy? I want a different icon. List item. Key, title, left. Is there a right icon? Yes, that's what we want. So let's set a right icon. Oops. And we want to set it to an X, which we can do. We have to give it a name. I believe this uses, what kind of icons does this use? Icons take the name of a material icon as a design. Okay. As a prop. So if I can find an X here, then I can use that, I believe. You would think an X would be pretty commonplace. See, delete. Cancel maybe? Remove. Okay, just go through it real quick. There we go. Clear, that's what we wanted. So name clear. Refresh that. Nice. So now, how do we set like an on click for that icon? We actually might not be able to do this. Let's see, on press, on long press, right icon. We might not be able to put like a little button. And that's unfortunate. I'm not seeing something that like lets us put an on press on the right side, so we'd be able to know if they like just clicked on this X. Run an avatar on press. I'll just put on press to see what happens. On press. It doesn't have like a nice little looking thing. I'm actually not liking this list view very much. I think we might not do a list view. See what our other options are. Maybe we'll do like a card view. What's a linked list element? Oh, it's just a list. Okay. Avatar, tile component, grid component, card component, pricing, tab bar. I think card view is kind of what we're wanting. Oh, can we do a list view of cards? I know that's a card that has a list inside of it. Okay. Let's see what else they have before we start making the card. Grid component. We might need to actually use that later. Slider component, tile component. I don't understand what this tile, oh, okay, it's kind of like a card with an image thing. Okay, let's use a card. And we want cards in like a scroll view. So let's get rid of this list. Let's not actually get rid of it quite yet. We want a bunch of cards. I'm not seeing like just a card. A list of cards is what I want. I think we're just going to pull in a scroll view then. Scroll view, React Native. We don't need this anymore. Okay. So scroll view. On scroll. What happens if we just do like a plain vanilla scroller? So what if I just do too far? So what if I just do scroll, get rid of the list. We can keep the map because we're basically going to map. And then let's put cards. So import card. And ours is only going to have a title for now. And then we can add icons and stuff if this works. So we're going to have to give it a key. Give it a key of I and a title of l.text. Let's give it T because it's really a to-do item. Okay, let's refresh that. Cannot find variable I. It's right here. Oh, I need to wrap everything in curlies. There we go. Okay, nice. We're not able to scroll yet. I don't know if that's just because... Okay, here we go. That's a nice scroll. We're not seeing stuff at the bottom still, but that's fine. I think this will give us more control because then we can put icons and stuff on the side. So let's just try adding an icon, I guess. So card. Image font family. Okay. So what if instead of doing a title, we just put a text? In here. So get rid of the title and we just say text, t.text. And we're almost just using the card as a container then. Let's see how that looks. Okay, that looks kind of nice. Now I like to add a icon, which they had at the top. So I import icon. And we want an icon button. We need to make, there we go. That's what I want. So icon. Oops. Come on. My clipboard is being difficult. Okay. Put that in, and let's just see what that looks like. Ooh. It's a cool looking icon. Alright, but we want a clear icon, and we don't want it raised. Oh, that's cool. I really like the look of that icon. What happens if we don't raise it? Okay. We can keep it red for now. I actually kind of like the raised. I mean, it looks goofy. It just looks so clean, though. And I like how it hovers. Does it do that when I get rid of the raised? Does it fade a little bit? Let's see. It does a little bit. You still get the button click feel. Okay, so we're gonna have to do. No, we can do that grid styling. We can do a grid in here. Grid component. Okay, so grid and column. This is what we want. Something like this. And now we want the text in the big column. And in the smaller column, we want the icon. And why don't we make this a component so it's not just like this class is getting ginormous. So let's copy this. I just want to see if this renders first, and if it renders, we're going to move all this stuff to a separate class. That way it just gets a little bit less chaotic. Nice. Alrighty. So let's create another component. So this will be to do item. And okay, how are we going to do it to do item? So I want to make this a pure function. So export default, and then the props. I actually want to enforce the props that the user passes in. So come back to the view. I think we're going to make this actually a class still, though. I'm going to call it to do item extends React.component render return there we go. Just take this whole card. Okay. Copy our imports. And we're also put those together. And actually, I don't think we're using button on this page. Actually, we actually are. So actions, we don't need. We're gonna need some React Native stuff, I think. And then we do need React. Okay. Now when we do the map, we're now going to be mapping. Do we want to just give it the text item, the text object? No, we want to actually give it. Okay. So I was wondering if we should just pass in this object, the T object, or we should actually pass in the values. And I decided we should pass in the values. So if we go to the top here, we have our to-do form, which we're importing from that. And we also want to import to-do item from components, to-do item. And just, it's good to put your local stuff, your local components at the bottom of imports. Alrighty, so we have this scroll view, we have this. Now I want to create a to-do item text is equal to t dot text completed is equal to t dot completed. And the reason I want to do it like this is in case I ever change the name of the to-do object, I don't have to come and remap it, or come remap it in our component. I just change it here. So for example, I want to change this to maybe content someday. I would change it here. So we pass in text, completed, and we're going to give it a key. We don't need to do anything with that component. I think that's fine for now. Okay, so I think we're fine with that. So now we're just messing with this page. So the first thing I want to do is require props. So scroll view we keep up. Can change this tab. So require props. Oops. React. Type checking with prop types. So we basically are enforcing that they pass some props in. My component.prop types, default prop types. So we're going to say to do item dot prop. Actually, we can just pass that in right here. So just put it right here. Static prop types. Static uppercase maybe. Nope. Okay. Prop types is equal to So these are the props you have to pass into my to-do item for it to work. You need to pass it some text. So that'll be text, and then I'll be, copy this. It'll be a string dot is required. Is required forces you to provide it. And then so we need text and we need completed, which is a Boolean. And those are the two that we need. So now down here, I can say this dot props dot text, and I'll grab that. And I might be messing up the syntax of this, so we're just gonna have to run it and see. Line 19. Oh, they should be commas. Undefined is not an object prop types Boolean. Okay. It's a bool. There we go. Cannot find variable I. Oh, we don't need this key anymore. Delete. Refresh. Prop types was defined as an instance property. Use static property. Okay. There we go. Now we're getting the syntax highlighting that I was expecting. Warning failed prop. The prop completed is marked as required him to do, but his value is undefined. Okay. So we're not passing in completed. Did I say complete maybe over here? Complete. I think everything is called complete. Alright, now let's refresh. But its value is undefined. So I'm wondering if t.complete so let's just come up here and console.log this dot next props dot viewer dot todos. And let's just see if any of the completed is undefined. Huh. Oh. There we go. We're not asking for it. There we go. Now, should be defined. There we go. Okay. Now let's just mess with our to-do item. So this is looking quite nice, and when I press this icon, it says hello, right? Very nice. Now instead of saying hello, what I'd like it to do is I'd like it to delete itself. So to delete an item, we just need its ID. So let's implement on the server first. So I'm just going to hop over here to the server. And let's set up nerdtree too here. I'm liking nerdtree. Okay, so let's touch the schema first. This will be a mutation. This will be delete to do. And I guess we can return the deleted to do. Nope, we don't want to return anything, I don't think. So GraphQL mutation that returns nothing. I'm not sure what the syntax is. I'm not expecting anything to be returned from the mutation. How do I? Okay, we'll just try it and see if we get an error. And so we're just going to pass in the ID, and that'll be a string, a required string. And this will be resolvers. Create to do, delete to do. Oh, we also need to pass in a token. So ID, token, context. And we're actually just not going to return anything. We're just going to do the deletion. And let's just see if this compiles. Whoops. And actually, I'm gonna, is it our resolvers? I wasn't supposed to close this because we have nerd tree up. Is it our index? Where are we console logging? We don't need any of these console logs anymore. Okay, this one is fine. Resolvers, console, viewer. Okay. Now let's start the server. Okay, as we expected, we get an error. I'll just, okay. Oops, what's the wrong thing? Schema, delete. I guess let's return the to-do we delete, I guess. Index, no, resolvers. Return just an empty guy for now. No. I'm not expecting an error, so I'm not sure what this is. Parse. So is there something wrong with the schema again? Delete to do. Oh, there we go. I think it was just, I didn't put a comma. And actually, you know what? Maybe our schema was fine. Maybe our schema was fine not returning the to-do. Oops, not that one. That one. Now, does that give us an error? Yeah, it does. Okay, we need the to-do. This resolves nicely now. So now let's actually delete this. So that's going to be return to-dos dot. I think it's delete. Let's or maybe it might be remove. There's one easy way to find this out. Feathers rest. And I actually like their documentation better. Here we go. Remove, and then we give them the ID. So we pass in the ID, and then we just need to pass in our context. So provider context.provider token. And actually, we also need to add a subscription for, we just, like, for example, when we delete this to-do, we need to add a subscription for deleting the to-do on the client side too. Because when we actually click this X, we're going to delete it on the server, but we're not going to update our UI. So let's fix that. I guess first I want to make sure this works though. You have delete to do here. That looks fine. So let's try calling it, I guess. Actually, I'm going to have to pass a token in. Let's just call it from the client. So restart the server. Make sure that's working. And we are. Now let's create that GraphQL mutation so we can get rid of this export default, because now we're doing GraphQL junk. And let's just copy and paste the template I have. Okay. Paste that. So this will be, oops, delete to do mutation. And if we just go to GraphQL, we can get the actual mutation that we need to do. Delete. Just need to refresh. So it'll, there we go. ID, token, oops. Okay. And we actually want to pass in two parameters, the token and the ID. This will be delete to do, passing in the delete to do mutation. And then this will be delete to do, return mutate, and then we don't actually need to do anything after, because we don't actually need to update. We're not going to update the state this way. We'll just do that. We'll delete the to-do. So on press, so we also need to pass in the ID. And that's going to be a string. And then on press this dot props dot delete to do, passing in this dot props dot ID. So now get that view, pass in the ID to our map, ID equal to t.id. Alright, let's refresh and see if the delete works. Oh, we need to just copy those imports over. Oops, too fast. Element type is invalid. Expected a string for built-in components or class. Got an object. t.id passed an object? That looks good to me. Was it something else? No. Oh, export default delete to do item. We just forgot to export. And when we export, we also need to wrap it with our GraphQL mutation. Prop ID is marked as required, but value is undefined. All right. Let's go see why that's undefined. ID React now string required. That looks good from this side. That means when we're passing in, we just need to get the ID. There we go. Delete. Data wrapping. To do item is expecting a variable. Oh, we didn't pass a token. To do item. And we also need the token. Actually, it'll be a string. Let's put it down here because it's kind of different. So we pass in the ID and this dot props dot token. And then the mutation, do variables. And then when we call this, how do we pass in variables here? I think we pass in variables in a different component. The login page, I think we did it. Yep. Variables, email, password. Okay. So it's going to be ID and token. ID, token. All right. Let's see if that gets deleted now. Oh yeah, we need to pass in the token from this side now. So go to map, and then token. This dot props dot token. I don't like how we're just passing this token around. Okay. So notice how nothing happens, but when I refresh, it's gone. We need to set up a subscription, so now when I delete this, we see it update live. So deleting is working, that's good. So let's add this subscription. So should we make this a new subscription? Yeah, we should make this a new subscription. So we're gonna go back to the server. I'm gonna go to the schema here. And I'm gonna say to do deleted. And then we're gonna pass back the to do that was deleted. Whoops. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Did not mean to close nerd tree again. So to do deleted. And we're actually literally just going to pass in the to do there. Oops. Nothing special happening. It's going to be the same. And then let me remove dot then to do that was removed. I'm hoping it's returning a to do anyway. Now we do pub sub dot publish to do deleted, and we're passing in the to do. Okay. And now can we subscribe on a mutation call? let's see. So the backend is set up, and let's get out of here. Just do git status, git add all, git commit, add delete, to do mutation, and subscription. Subscription. Git status. We don't need to get status. Git push. And then restart the server to make sure that it compiles okay. Or runs without error, I mean. I keep saying compile. And then from this side, we need to basically do the subscription thing that we did here. Subscribe to new to-dos, props.viewer. It's kind of like a query. And actually, maybe I changed my mind again. I feel like we should just use this as a controller. Okay. I changed my mind, guys. We're going to change things up a wee bit. We're going to have one subscription. It's going to give it two things, though. So vim schema, we're going to call this to-do changed. We're going to pass it to-do. So we're just basically going to do, actually no, we'll just call this to-do. It's a to-do, because we also want to change it on update possibly later and the other thing. So you're just subscribing to to-do, let's go back, to-do changes, we'll call it. Anytime a to-do changes in any way, you're getting a subscription for it. So you see that this happens. So now on our resolver, because we're doing the same thing here, to-do changed. We should pass in a to-do and actually go back to the schema. This will be a type be CRUD operation. CRUD operation. So type, so it's going to be the operation, which we'll do, should we just do a string? Yeah, that'll probably be easiest. The operation that happened, and then of course the to-do, which is of type to-do. Both of these are necessary. I'll just call it to-do CRUD. This returns a to-do CRUD, which is an op and a to-do. So this is our to-do, and then we also return the op. I think you can maybe only pass one thing, so. Okay, so to-do deleted, right? So we're going to do, you pass in the to-do, and op is going to be deleted. Deleted. Now up here, to-do added. Both of these to-do changed now. And let's just console.log deleted. I want to make sure it actually is passing the to-do back that was deleted and not something else. Okay, so the operation here is created, and we pass that to do. Okay, so now back to the, let's run the server before we go back to the client. Available source, does that work? If it does, and it doesn't, forgot a comma somewhere, it looks like. To do changed op. That looks okay. Here it is. It's the comma I missed. Did I put the comma here? And I did. Save that. Schema error, something to do changed defined in resolvers, but not to do changed. To do changed. So what do I call in the schema? Actually, yeah, to do changes sounds like a better word for subscription. To do changed. Alrighty. That works, so let's add that git commit. Make subscription general. Alright, now we work on the client. Okay, so now subscription data, to do added. So now it's going to be to do changed. So now it's going to be op to do. It's going to be subscription data dot data dot to do changes. So if op is equal to triple equals, I guess, created. Should we do a switch? Nah, switch are kind of gross. Op is equal to deleted. Should we do an else in console error some stuff? Nah. And we really only need to pass the ID back, so to do.id. To delete. Delete to do. So if it's created, we're going to add the to do. If it's deleted, we're deleting the to do. That looks good. Now we need to actually create this delete to do action. Delete to do, passing in the ID, delete to do. Now we need to add this to our reducer, the to do's reducer. Now we have a delete. And now we want to filter, so let me just look up the syntax for filter. JavaScript array. JavaScript array is what we want to do. Is big enough. Value is greater than 10. Okay. So we're going to return state.filter, and then we're going to say to do where to do is not equal to do.id is not equal to action.id. So okay, so if this returns true, then it keeps it. Filter for this is big enough. So filter for to do, we want to keep the ones that the ID is not equal to the one we're deleting. Okay, that looks good. Unhandled GraphQL subscription error cannot query field. Oh, to do added. That's right. To do added is not a thing anymore. To do added. To do changes. Oh, and to do changes is different because now we have a, just go to GraphQL. So this is subscription. To do changes, no, refresh buddy, we have to do changes. Okay, go. We can get the op and the to do. Cannot read property to do of undefined. Is this a server error? Usually it returns null. Oh no, that's fine. I think that's fine. This might be a problem. Anyway, we're getting it to an operation. We're also getting it to do, and from the to do, we'd like to get the ID, the text, and the completeness of it. Prettyfy, please. I believe this query is correct, but that the server just like crapping out like that and not working is worrisome. That kind of makes me think this won't work. Huh, just kidding, it just straight works. Beautiful. Beautiful. We just deleted all that garbage. New problem. That's fine. Undefined is not an object. Evaluating t.id. We're passing this dot props, and that's in to do form. This dot t. Is it this dot t? T.id. T.id. We're not doing t.id here. Why is it saying undefined is not an object? Evaluating t.id. We can get rid of this. We know that works. I mean, we're doing t.id here. I guess let's console.log this.props.todos then. ID. When we create it, we're not getting the ID, it looks like. Comma undefined. Comma undefined. Looks like, oh, There we go. I was just doing something kind of noob. So I had the old code there from copy and pasting, but now we just abstract the to do. Okay, so our to-do list is coming along quite nicely. So now we have the delete and the create feature working. Let's save this. So git status, what other files did we change? Git commit. So we went from a list view to cards and implement delete. Okay, what do we want to do next? Why don't we do, should we do an on click so we can cross out? Yeah, let's do complete next. Let's do that. So this will be an on click for our two, ooh. I just close nerd tree? I did. So that'll be source routes. That'll be in our to-do item. I'm wondering if card has just an on press. I'm hoping they do, because that'll be very nice for this. On press. And then we're going to console.log complete for now. Okay, so let's refresh that. Nope, doesn't have it. So let's go to the documentation real quick. Maybe it's unclick. Yeah, it just did not do one. I guess we can do an on-click for the text. That's not as cool though. Syntax error. On press. Oh. What I would really like is a nice little like animation when I click. That would be nice. So the only thing I don't like about if we did the button click there is, like, for example, if I click right here, nothing. We get complete when I do that. Nothing, nothing. What if I do flex 1? This flex makes it expand. Basically, maybe if I just give the padding equal to the, or, better idea guys, what if I do an on click for the column? I wonder if it'll let us do that. So grid, does grid have an on click? Yes, it does. That's beautiful. So this will allow us to get a much nicer click. Yes. Yes. That's better. That triggers it. Does that trigger it? No, it doesn't. Maybe more in the middle, but it's... I want to see what the size of this is. Can I give it a color? Size, container style. Container style. Color blue. That did not work. Background color maybe? Nope. How do I set the color? Active opacity, container style. React Native, set background color. We don't need these guys anymore. It is background color. Huh. And blue works. Comma flex 1. What does that do? Does that break anything? Does that do anything at all? Nope, that doesn't seem to do anything at all. I want the background color to change so I can see it. Why does background color not work? Styles. Or style, maybe. Huh, I'm being dumb. Flex is 1, not a string. Nope, that doesn't do anything though. There we go. Okay, so I want this to be a little more squishy. The card has like padding itself. So card, where are your props? Here we go. Inner container style, outer container style. Doesn't seem to have what we want. I don't like how narrow this is. I don't like how the card doesn't have an on click. It's quite annoying. That's nice looking. So how do I do that? I think I'm just gonna leave it for now. I guess I can come back and make the where we actually click the button better. So now instead of complete, what we want to do is we're going to be doing some more server work first. We don't need to touch the schema. Yeah, actually we do need to touch the schema. We're going to create a new mutation called update to do. So we're going to take a to do as a parameter. And we spit out the new to do. That looks good. So delete. And we don't need these because we know it worked. So update to do. And again, let me just look up the syntax for this. Feathersjs. What did I just look up? REST. Update. There was a nice little chart that I had that showed me the, there we go. Update takes an ID and then the new data. Okay. So it's going to be ID token text and complete. It's going to update. And the new object. I don't know if I should drop that to a new line. This looks a little awkward, but we'll keep it. So the new data is going to be having, we don't touch the ID, I don't think. We just give it text and complete. Then don't need this, to do changes, updated, and then we have to do. and then we pass in the to-do, the updated to-do, back to the server. Alright, that looks good. Okay. And let's run that first before I commit this. I can add it all just in preparation. Nope, doesn't like it. Looks like I, again, forgot to add a comma to the resolvers. Update. No. Just read the error then. Possibly in the schema we're having a problem. Update to do, passing in a to do and a token. Oh, resolvers. Update. So this is all under to do. There we go. This is a freaking unwieldy function. Drop it to a new line. That's really looking ugly. I'm gonna have to try to rerun the server. I'm gonna have to lint this whole project and clean up the spacing and stuff. Okay. Still a problem. I was thinking it was because I didn't do it doesn't let me go up. I was thinking it was because I didn't have to do here and grabbing the text and stuff. Could be a different problem though. Let's see what it says. Expected input type. What's an input type? Invariant. Node modules expected input type. That is, GraphQL just has amazing errors. To do, we should have that stuff. Just for a second, I want to comment you out, return nothing. So I just want to see if it's my deconstruction of the object that it doesn't like, or if it's something else. Nope, still doesn't work. So I don't think it's what I have here, update to do. I think it's something with the schema. Oh shoot, that's gonna be fun. I just switched pages so I can't undo. So update to do, update to do. Passing in a to do in a string. I'm guessing it doesn't like that I use the to do type maybe here. I don't know why. Let's try a string. Whoops. Yeah, okay, so that's not what that's what it's not liking. Okay, so what I can do to the update is I can pass in an ID, which is a string, pass in text, which is a string, get rid of these commas, and I can pass in complete, which is a boolean. All of these are required. should keep that required for now because we don't have any defaults. Resolver. Now we can go back. This is fine. Now we deconstruct the way we did before, where we said ID, text, complete, token. Oh shoot, I didn't do this right. There we are. Okay, we got that running. Git commit added support for update. Push. Alright, so we got our update on the server looking good. Let's hop back to our client and do it on the client side now. So how are we going to do this? So it's going to be mutation, similar to this, so let's just copy that. So update to do mutation. Mutation. And let's do the GraphQL mutation update. Nope, you're not update. Update. Oh, refresh. Sometimes the GraphQL is not up to date stuff. So that's the ID, text, some other stuff, and then what else is there? Content. Nope, complete, which is true, we'll say. And what is the last thing? The token, that's right. Copy that. So we have a lot of variables. So the first one we have is the ID, which is a string. Then we have text, which is a string. We have complete, which is a boolean. And then we have token, which is a string. ID. Whoops. Text. Complete. And then token. We grab the token. Okay. And then when we update, we want the ID. We want, no. When we update, we want, actually, well, we don't need anything when we update because we're going to, again, update it through our subscription. We could update it through the callback from our mutation, but we're just going to let everything go through subscription because that seems to be a very nice way to do it. Update to do. Update to do mutation. Update to do. So we're passing the ID, text, and complete. ID, text, complete. And the token. Now let's grab the compose function because I don't want to stack these too many times. Export default compose. Compose lets you, instead of wrapping these guys, I can basically call a function. So delete to do and update to do. Just like that. And now when I press, what we're going to do is we're going to say this.props.update to do, this.props.id, this.props.text, this.props.complete, and we inverse it, and this.props.token. Alrighty. Now I want to come back to over here. Now we have to do an else if is equal to updated. We pass in update to do. So our new to do and to do dot they can grab it from this. So update to do, passing in a to do. So create an action. Update to do. Update to do, passing in the to do, and now I go to do item. Sorry, we're not doing to do item, we're going to the reducer. Update to do. Okay, now this is actually an interesting thing of how we're going to do the reducer, because we need to find the item that we're changing and then basically mutate one of its values, but we want to do it functionally. So update reducer, update array object reducer, because we want to keep it pure. I'm just seeing if there's a nice way to do this, because we basically want to find the new value and then change it. Updating the value. Where's updating the value? Okay, here's one way to do it. I don't like this way because it requires a for loop, but it's maybe it's fast enough. Okay, so this is how this is the algorithm that I want to use. So let this will be left, and this will be right. So we're going to do a for loop. We're going to loop for an I. Actually, we don't need a right. We just need to do left. So const I is equal to 0. I is less than state.length length I++. So if, how do we want to do this? If state I.id is equal to action.todo.id, then we break. Else, what we do is we say left.push state I the value. Okay, so we're basically looping through the array until we find the to-do that we want to change. And the to-do we want to change, we break out, and then we want to return an array where we get the values of left, and then our new to-do, which is action.todo, and then the leftover values, which is going to be state.slice, and then I think the rest of the values are I. This mutation might be wrong. We might have to fiddle with update to do. Let's refresh and see. I feel like we have a buttload of errors. Okay. cannot find variable I. Let I equal 0. There we go. ID is marked as required and to-do item, but value is undefined. Text prop. Okay, so that did not work, but I don't even think it made it to our reducer. We have different problems. We'll come back to our reducer. Oh, update to do. We just got the ID. We needed also text and complete. Okay, so it looks like we deleted those guys. Huh. We're just like, I don't know what, oh. This is not working. Our reducer is causing problems. now our reducer is causing problems. I need to do dot dot dot. I didn't do dot dot dot. There are no items. Dot. Alright, so this needs to be I plus 1 because we don't want to include this value. Okay. Looks like that's working. It's just alternating between true and false. I wonder if there's a nicer way to do what we did here. Let's see if how to update single value inside a specific array item. Yep, that's exactly what we had to do. Oh, React immutable helpers. React import update from update state. Although I'd imagine you'd probably be doing something like this. Update state contents. State contents state.map. Oh, I like this. I like doing this map. That's beautiful. Okay. All right, see how we can do it now. So return state.map, and we get to do. And the first thing we're going to check is if todo.id, if the ID is equal to action.id, then we return action.todo, else we just return t. That is so much less code. I like it. Okay, so check out what's happening here, guys. This is really cool. So we're mapping over the state, and we're looking at each to-do. And when we get to a to-do item, we're checking if that ID is equal to the, it needs to be to-do. We're checking if that's equal to the updated to-do. If it is, so this is our true condition, then we're replacing it with action.todo. If not, we just return the value. So let's refresh. Create. Why is that not permanently creating, by the way? Okay, it is permanently created. So why when I press that, does it delete it? Huh. It's deleting it on the server. That's interesting. Okay, we will look into why it's doing that in a second. First, I just want to make sure this works. True. False. True, false. Okay, that looks good. So when I create another one, it's just doing the first one, right? Yep. And then just do the second one. Okay, that looks good. So our actual update reducer looks good, but something else weird is happening. When I refresh, these items are disappearing. Let's see if there's anything happening on the server here. Token missing? That's not a problem per se. I actually am very curious why this is happening. When we click on the item, is our delete reducer being called? Let's see. So we create add to do, update to do, delete to do. Okay, but if I just add it and I don't click on it, it's fine. But the moment I change its value from complete to false, it actually just wipes it. Okay, interesting. So what's happening there? Why is it printing not authenticated? Do we need to relog in possibly? Bob.com. Maybe our token expired? I think I just double clicked there. Nope, that's not the problem. So for whatever reason, what if I click it twice? Does that do anything for it? Nope. Let's just see if it's in the database first. So pSQL connect, select all the to-dos. Let's create, we'll call this one taco. So we create taco. Okay. Where text is equal to taco. Where text, or where's the syntax error? From where text is equal to taco? No. Oh. Select from all where to-dos.text. Is that what it wants? No. I'm not sure what's wrong with my query. I just wanted to select where text equal to 1, we'll say. Alright, that looks good. Does it need single quotes maybe? Needs single quotes. Okay, so we see our taco there. If I click on it, we still see our taco there. We see complete is now true. Now when I refresh, taco is gone. Taco is still in the database. Aha! Check it out, guys. We're wiping the owner ID. So let's come back over here. I think maybe it's them. So what are we going to do to solve this? So when we update, we basically want to keep the owner ID. We don't want to update. Do we have to pass the owner ID through all of this? I don't want to do that. Because what if we want to keep that a private field so the user can't query that? Hmm. This is an interesting dilemma. Okay, so we need the update. Let's see if there's just a built-in way with Feathersjs. Feathersjs update some value. Oh, maybe patch is what we want. It's interesting, patch and update. Let's see. Okay, partial modifications. I think what we want to do is patch. Update. Have update? Doesn't. Okay, let's try patching. So instead of doing an update, let's do a patch. Now let's restart the server. Okay, build okay. Good, keeps it. So patch looks like it just modifies the value but doesn't basically override it. Okay. Patch is what we wanted. Very cool. So let's commit that because that was an important change. Update to patch. And I just want to, if you guys didn't catch what happened there, I want to explain update and patch, the difference. So this wasn't very important. So notice how, so I have a field called owner ID for the to-do, so you know which user owns the to-do. Now notice how we don't have the owner to-do here, or the owner ID here. So when I was doing update, it just takes whatever object I put here and replaces the object in the database with it. So it's removing the owner ID. We didn't want that. We just wanted to update the text and the complete value. So to do that, we just needed to patch instead. Patch just updates these two values, whereas update replaces. So patch just does these values, update does the whole object. So that was important. Okay, now on this side. Now we want to do a slight style change to the text. So we want to indicate that it is crossed out. So let's go into to-do item, text. We're going to say CSS, no, let's do React Native Strikethrough. Strike. Nope, nowhere. That's basically the property that we want to do. Strikethrough gives you the slash. Text decoration underline. The following text works on iOS but not on Windows. Why would it work on Windows? I don't understand. Let's see if that works for us. Very nice. So we're just going to do a little if statement. It says, so const, not const, let text style equal to this. And we're going to say if this dot props dot complete, then we would like to say text style dot text decoration line is equal to line through. And then the style, text style. Refresh. Nice. So they look like they're both false. So let me add an item, hot dog. I create the item hot dog, which is false. Click it. Nothing happened. Did the click not go through maybe? Maybe the click didn't go through. Okay, so it looks like it's working. Looks like the click is now good. So now we can change this style to anything we want. But I think this is a good stopping point for now. We got the update function working, so now we can update the value of this, our complete, and we made it general case, so we can also update the text. We just need to make a UI input for that. And we got deleting to work, and so our app is really coming together now. It's looking like a real to-do list. Of course, it's really ugly right now, so I want to style this, but the functionality is coming together. So I'm just going to commit this. Git commit UI for updating, for clicking on the item, the to-do, and completing it. Alright, so we're all done for now. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.